I'll call the meeting to order at 6:36 p.m.
All right, so the virtual meeting statement. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, subsection 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people who may gather in one place. This, the meeting of the Hubbardston Board of Health, will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and our parties with a right and a requirement to attend this meeting can be found at www.hubbardstonma.us. No in-person attendance. Oh goodness, I just lost me. Oh, in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive records of proceedings as soon as possible.
Okay. And given that we have a guest, do we want to reorder business and jump to that agenda item?
Yeah, it's not even really an agenda item. It was going to fall under unexpected business. So I shot an email out. Sandra emailed me this afternoon. She is just kind of looking for our blessing on the Easter egg hunt. It's going to take place over the 3 rec fields. Hold on, I'm pulling open my email right now.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah.
Okay. So Governor Baker has upped as of March 22nd, outdoor gatherings to 150. The event's going to be outside. Eggs will be spread out among the 3 different fields to maintain the social distancing. They're going to have hand sanitizing stations. Participants and spectators will be required to wear masks, and each child must provide their own basket. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or.
Well, they usually do use the whole field. They break up the kids, age-wise. And I think that last year, if I remember correctly, it was 3 big groups, and it worked out well.
I don't see any problem based on the governor's guidelines.
Yep, nor do I.
Nope.
So it's okay. As far as I'm concerned.
And Mallory, are you talking? We just don't hear you, or are you're muted?
She's muted.
Talking to myself, muted. It's okay. She said, "Great, thank you. Great way to kick off spring." So she's good.
All right, tell her thank you for organizing things again this year. I'm sure that it's challenging to do things that are need extra guidelines.
Yeah. We are lucky in Hubbardston to have such great volunteers. That is for sure.
All right. I see Judy joined. Hi, Judy.
Oh, actually, now that I think about it, it wasn't last year's Easter. It was the year before, because we didn't have Easter last year up there.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Moving back to the top of the agenda, we're going to review minutes. Are they in the folder, Mallory?
No, we haven't gotten them yet. Ryan is working with Andrea to get them all done.
Okay.
So she's in the same boat I am with this clinic stuff, kind of. But I called her, or she called me this afternoon. We spoke on the phone. Her last clinic is the same week ours is, so she'll get all caught up.
Okay.
Doing the one-man thing over there too with all the different departments.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll table minutes and have 3 to review next time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, COVID-19 updates.
Yeah, so we got some exciting news from the DESE Department of Education and Secondary Education this afternoon. They're no longer, at least I think it's exciting because my kids have been home. They're no longer allowing after April 5th for elementary students to participate in remote learning. They're not counting the hours or the time spent remote learning towards the completion of the 180 days. And then as of April 28th, the middle school kids need to be back full time across the board in Massachusetts. So that's going to be for public and charter schools and tribes, any tribal. I think we have 2 of them in the state of Massachusetts. So then Governor Baker also has upped his gathering guidelines as of the 22nd. So that's pretty much, we're still sitting at between 1 and 2 cases. Currently, we only have 1 active case of COVID in town.
Gotcha.
but they're rising.
Yeah.
I noticed a trend in Barry and Rutland. They're rising again.
Again.
Yeah,
Is it within a specific age group or?
it's the young, 18 to 35.
That's too bad.
Mm.
I noticed I went to go pick up dinner and we just take it out and bring it home, and there was a large population of definitely 65 and older out to eat, and I haven't picked up on that since in like a whole year. So it's like, oh, people are getting a little more comfortable now that they're getting vaccinated. So I was wondering if we were going to start to see an uptick.
We probably will.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's, I think it's kind of human nature. Like we have a group of people who are less inclined to follow rules and who are out there already, and then a group of people who are rule followers but can still be spreaders, right? So I think it's an interesting juxtaposition, but I think that's kind of par for the course, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My
So-
my understanding when it comes to clinics, though, that Rutland sends the link to Mallory. And so there's specific days that, because there's 12, 13 towns they're working with. So there's specific days where they send out links for registration. And what is going to happen in the next couple of weeks is that we're going to jump from, like we're doing that right now, 360 to 375 a day. And they're going to jump to 600 and next week a day, 600 and something a day. And then after that, in April, we're going to jump again. So it is going to become more and more available. And I think the availability to other age groups is going to come faster than we thought before. So, which is all good news.
Yeah.
Judy, do you know, as like the dates become more available and we open up to like general population and
Probably April, probably sooner than, yeah.
do you know, are they still planning to have the local boards of health register like they are doing now, or are they just going to open them to the public?
It's probably going to be a better, less of a logistical nightmare if we stay with the way what they're doing it now, the way they're asking now.
All right, so then what I'll do is I'm going to start training one of the senior workers on registering patients, because obviously there's going to be a lot more when.
Yep. And yeah, toward the end of April, I think the floodgates are going to open.
Yeah. All right. So we have a couple who are, capable, and we have extra computers and we can run a phone line, no problem. So I will start training.
Once it's open to the public, though, can't we just publish the link and have people sign up, and when the
So-
slots are filled?
Right now, what we're doing is Seth will send the link out, and then like we have a list of people who call in and say, hey, I want the vaccine. And I say, sure, when I get the link, I'll call you. But we can't send that link out because what will happen is I give the link to you, who you give it to your friend gives it to 5 of his friends. And then before we know it, we have half the population of Boston getting inoculated up in Rutland. So we've been registering everyone over the phone to try to avoid that. Even with the second clinic, I went through with the people who had emails and I said, hey, here's the link for your second. Do not share this link.
Mhm.
And I had to kick out 24-year-olds and 23-year-olds and
Right.
people from Brockton and, but my sister lives in Hubbardston. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's
So
like a
we can't share
shame
the
that
link.
it's a shame that the site for PrepMod isn't allowed to be set up in such a way
Yeah.
where you have to have, let's say, like a tax ID in town, or do you know what I mean? Like some type of validation code that's attached to the link that lets the site know who you are, so that the link's only for you.
I mean, even the clinic that we
Yeah.
ran on the 20, I'm back in February, going through and making sure, because I've been combing over it to make sure people are getting re-registered and making the phone calls if people aren't, calling me back. And we had people from Athol. We had a couple people from Holden, so they snuck in. And I'm sure they could have been the people who walked in last minute, or someone. I know there was people who definitely had relatives in town. But so what will happen, Kate, is he gives us that link, and then he gives us about like a week to call our people, and then it will get opened on the vaccination site for like the whole state as a public vaccine clinic. So any of the available slots that we couldn't fill, they get gobbled right up.
Got it.
And then what happens is there's a mad dash to get those slots, there's like,
It's insanity.
yeah, it is.
I've noticed too, like, when you go to make an appointment on PrepMod and it'll put you into that virtual waiting room.
Mhm.
When I try to log into my side of PrepMod, like when we go in to manage a clinic, Kate, I also get stuck in a virtual waiting room. So I like go to hop on to, someone calls or I'm returning a call for my second appointment. I have to, okay, so now we're just going to wait together while we go through this waiting room between 2 and 7 minutes.
Right.
So that's
About
frustrating.
34. I had someone the other night, it was like 34 minutes in the waiting room. So,
It's awful.
Yeah. So
And then
midnight is the time to register.
everyone's going to get called at midnight. I'm sure everyone would appreciate that.
what does that mean for this weekend? So last time we did a bunch of people we were registering ad hoc on site. Are we going to have that? And if so, could we have a separate dedicated person doing registrations?
So we only have about 6 people who are unaccounted for right now that got their first shot and haven't gotten their haven't set up their appointment for their second. So I don't know if we really need a dedicated person because there should logistically or realistically only be those 6, which I'm really hoping will call me back and I can get them all set and taken care of between today and Saturday. And I've had a couple people or one person definitely cancel because of a family emergency, Judy. So what happens then? Am I allowed to stick them in like a second dose clinic?
Yeah, you just get them re-registered into another clinic.
Okay. That's what I told her, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah. If you need a little help, call.
Okay. So I don't know if we'll need another person. I mean,
Gotcha.
ideally we should just be able to check them out and go, and there shouldn't be anyone getting their first shot at all on Saturday.
Okie doke. And do we want to set up on Friday again, or are we good to set up Saturday morning?
I think we're good. The janitor's going to be there at 8:30. Our clinic starts at 10:30.
Okay.
I think
Saturday.
just do Saturday and not disrupt the school.
Jill, Mallory, you're gonna let Jill know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Jill and I have been talking this whole time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're good. And I have the new Wi-Fi and all that good stuff because they change it every month.
Yeah.
So I've been in contact with Jill and with Claire Barnes, both of them.
Cool.
And
Great.
Judy, we're good for volunteers.
Yeah, we're all set. I sent you a list, I thought.
I don't think you sent me a list yet, but I got your email that we were good.
Yeah, they're full. All the volunteers are full, and Peggy will be there as a supervisor, so I can roam around and be Board of Health.
There you go. Great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
that's my COVID update.
once again, I won't be able to help. So sorry, guys.
No worries.
Understandable. We've got it.
So no I in team, Kathy.
That's for sure.
We got your back.
Thanks.
All right. Any other updates on MPHN or COVID?
Did you guys read the letter? Should we still send that out?
I did read it, and I told you that I thought it was some good points. It probably just needs a little bit of editing, though. So I have a couple of things I'd like to add in, but it was a great
ahead.
start. Good
Go
start.
ahead. Just tell me, and then we'll get it out.
Yep.
Send me an email if it's okay with everyone else.
Yep.
Send me an email for editing, and we'll put it out there.
I'll put it on Board of Health letterhead and all that good stuff.
Yep.
The good news is that I was discussing this with Rich Stevens today, and he seemed to feel that there'll be some reversal on all of that, because when it comes to trying to do the general population, you can't just rely on these little pot of these centers.
No. Or pharmacies. I've gotten a lot of people now though that I'm calling back who like called because they wanted to get appointments. And now they're waiting for Johnson and Johnson. I'm like, just get a shot in your arm. Just get one. Whatever one I can give you, take
Yeah.
it.
Johnson won't be here till April.
Right. That's what I've been telling them. It's not going to be here anytime soon. So take what you can get for now. Let's get you inoculated.
Yeah.
Is the shot that we got the first time exactly the same shot that you're going to get the second time? Are they the same?
Exactly.
Okay.
I can hardly wait.
Sorry, Mallory. Be prepared. Be
Oh.
prepared.
Oh, I'm like, sorry guys, you're going to your dad's for the weekend.
Yeah, people definitely get. Sean had his second, although he had the Moderna, and he was like, feverish and didn't feel well for like a day. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, took some Tylenol. He was fine. He was like,
Oh,
that was it.
I'd rather be pregnant 1,000 times over than feel like how I felt. But it's all right. I don't want COVID, so
I didn't have any reaction the first time whatsoever, but
I didn't either. So.
the police chief is
Nope.
just waiting. He's just waiting to make fun of me next week. He's like chomping at the bit.
yeah. But they say, what don't they say, Judy? The bigger your response, the higher your level of immunity, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
If
good.
you
I'm
have,
up
if
to,
you
like,
have
9%.
symptoms, then that's a good thing.
Great.
My brother and sister-in-law were just diagnosed with COVID, and they were like,
Oh,
I know, they're so bummed out because they've been taking, folks in the family and the elderly folks in the family up where the rest of my family lives to get their shots and stuff, and like, they've been really careful, and they both got it, and she's a teacher, and it's just a bummer, and of course he's super sick, and he runs his business out of their home, so like he can't, so his business is shut down for a few weeks. He's like, and he is such a baby when he's sick, so we can put that on the record and we can just send him a call. But he's like super, it's hitting him much worse, and he's like,
oh, that's
"Oh,
sorry to hear that.
I wish I'd gotten a shot at some point." He's like, but I'm not eligible yet, and it's just a bummer.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
One of the last things is that the teachers are going to be, there's a clinic coming up for them next week.
Nice, very good.
Do you guys
So
need
the
any
teachers will be
volunteers then, or
vaccinated.
are you all set?
No, Kim Stady out of Quabbin is handling it, and she's been at our vaccine clinics working as a volunteer. So she's got, the experience now to set it all up and get it going. So we get a day off as volunteers.
There you go.
But Quabbin and Wachusett and Mahar, and there's a couple others I'm aware of that are all going to have it next week. I mean, the 22nd, week of the 22nd, and then others are in the planning for April.
Nice. Do we have all the supplies we need for this weekend, including needles and all of that, Judy?
That should come with it, and I just need to check with one of my volunteers who has a secret stash, so we'll have a backup collection.
Okay.
So yeah, we're good on that. They've been better this past week or so. They've been really much better. The state has on giving us the supplies that we really need in good quantities. So we should be good.
Awesome.
And I have 2 buckets in the back of my car full of supplies. So
All right. Well, and last thing for me is, Mallory, do you want us to meet you at 8:30 at the office so we can bring supplies over?
Yeah, I don't think 8:30 is perfect.
Okay.
So what time should we be at the school? 8:30 or?
8:45, 9. It's not much.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okey-doke.
whatever.
Great. Anything else before we move on?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. Next item on the agenda is failed systems awaiting action, 10 Main Street.
Just they're waiting for spring still, so
Okey-doke.
and I spoke with their installer. It's not them, it's their installer. So
Yeah, not much you can do. Still snow on the ground.
yeah.
All right. Any questions from the board on 10 Main Street before we move on?
Nope.
All right. Pass failed Title V reports. There are none received. Anything to discuss there? Okay. Hearing none. Water tests, none received. And the next is permits to be voted on. We have Peaceful Acres and Elaine site work.
Yep, they look fine. I make a motion that we approve those 2 permits.
I'll second that. And take a vote from the top. All in favor? Colleen,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes,
Kathy,
Yes.
and Kate is a yes. So the motion passes. And Kathy, I assume you'll work with Mallory to get those signed off on?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, very quickly, Mallory, are you in the office tomorrow?
Yes, as long as our
Uh,
internet cooperates, I will be in the office tomorrow. They have
Okay.
had IT out working on it, so
All right, maybe 11-ish. I'll
Sure.
stop by, sign the well permits and these other permits as well,
perfect.
in addition.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Moving on to plans and review. We have Raytech Williamsville Road is approved. You want to go through these, Mallory? And
Yeah, sure. So Raytech, let me get to my agenda. Raytech Williamsville is a new single family house. Matt approved his plan. It's going to be going to conservation next for a notice of intent due to work being done in the buffer zone. So that one's good to go. We just got to wait on his conservation hearing for any work to take place. And then we have Donna Warfield, who is at 42 Mile Road, which was an old plan. And she had her engineer do some updates in regards to magnetic tape and a couple other smaller components. And Matt approved that plan, so we signed off on it. So she has it back, and that is going to be the sale is contingent on that one, I think. And then we have lot 3, 4, and 5, Ragged Hill Road, which is D2 Builders, and those were all approved. Those are the well permits that we have. 3 of the well permits that we have for Kathy to sign. 35.
They've been
Oh, go
clearing
ahead.
those lots. I drove past there Sunday morning to take a hay delivery out there, and those lots are cleared and stuff.
Yeah, he's ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
And then 35 Burnchurch Road, they're trying to sell it. There was a component that needed to be replaced, and it ended up having to be a whole new system. So they got their plan into us last week. Matt rushed and got that review done for them. So they were able to close in time, and they are escrowing money from the sale of the property to pay for the installation. So that won't happen until later spring too.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or plans and review items to discuss?
Did we skip the septic with Tim Newton?
We
Oh, you
did.
did.
Okay.
Sorry.
So he did the 17 Elm was a repair to a tank. It was a replacement to a tank. When he went for his inspection last week, he noticed that the D-box was corroded. So he's requiring that they replace the D-box and before we give any certificate of completion. So he is working with the installer to get that done. They've submitted their first application. He did his first inspection. Now they're going to do another application for component replacement. 12 Birches, he has done all the inspections and is waiting for the installer and the engineer to provide an as-built to sign off on the certificate of completion.
Yep. Cute little house on 12 Birches.
Yeah, he did a good job.
It's part of the, it was part of the loop on Sunday for delivering hay, so I drove past it.
Kathy, do you want me just to keep tossing things his way for now?
Keep having Tim work on these things, yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Now, does he need the iPad for the photographs?
Nope,
Or is
he's
he
got it
all set
all.
with what he has?
Yep, he's all good.
Okay,
And he gives like a detailed report too, so it's really good what he gives back. So
yep, that sounds
very
great.
nice. Yeah. And he's happy to help whatever we need.
Yep, just,
All right. I'll keep plugging away
that's
with
a
him.
good plan.
All right. Awesome.
All right. I
Perfect.
promise not to skip any more. agenda. All right, moving on to new business. So we have
So I think the last meeting we had talked about the round table for 69 Gardner Road. Today there was one for 56 Gardner Road as well. So they just made a presentation to the department heads and boards. Some good questions were asked. 69 Gardner Road has provided their site plan and special permit application to the planning board, which they did accept. There's going to be a special hearing on the 1st of April at 6:30 over Zoom for an outdoor marijuana cultivation. So within the next week or so, everyone on the board will be getting a copy of the completed application along with a copy of the notice of intent he's intending to file so that we can make any comments or anything like that that the board wants to put on officially. So just quick, his plan is outdoor cultivation only this year. Porta potty, no septic. Everything's going to be grown in outdoors, surrounded by fencing with barbed wire and all that good
His
stuff.
fencing is intense, let me tell you.
Mhm.
When I went out for the perk test, they were finishing it up before the cold weather hit, and that's intense fencing.
Yeah, it's going to be
it's
even more than that.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, but it's really gonna do the job, I'm sure.
So his plan is to operate out of 3 trailers for the summer months. So grow, harvest, pick it. They'll go into the trailers to be processed in Royalston. And one of the trailers will be his office space. I think he estimated about 6 employees during the harvesting. He's got machines that do all the harvesting and stuff like that for him. So that will be on the 1st of April. And then Bowie gave his presentation for 56 Gardner Road, which is the old stove shop. And he's planning an outdoor operation as well with the processing taking place inside the old building. We will have a septic system for that one because he's planning on using the building and the facilities that are there for his employees with about 10 employees. So that will be forthcoming. But yeah, so lots on our plate coming up.
Okay, we already talked about the second dose clinic on 220.
Yep.
And we're going to move on. Yeah. Anything else on new business? Any questions from the board before we move on? Okay. Open complaints, 111 Gardner Road.
They're
And-
just on those through our.
Got it on
We
her.
were waiting for spring, I think, for site walks.
Okay. Site walks on both of those, and then old business, financial reports, food inspections, and recycle.
So there is the financial reports, the money that was turned over to the town from permits. And then we have 2 invoices. We got Matt's and we have Tim's. We just need to approve so I can get them paid.
And that's the attachment that says schedule department payments to the treasurer.
Yeah.
Okay. And has everybody had a chance to review that?
Okay, I guess I missed that. Hang on, I'm looking real quick. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I did make sure to double check against everything that we had incoming and that we had that I had communicated with them to make sure that everything is aligned, but they're both no problem there.
Okay,
Donna Warfield's wasn't a full 42-mile road wasn't a full fee that he charged us because it was just for that component that he should added to make it 2021 compliant.
all right.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve paying Matt and Tim? For the, all right,
I'll second it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we restate that with the total for the amount on the turnover,
don't-
right, Mallory?
yeah, I don't have the top.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'll pull it open on my
It's
email.
at 782.50.
No, that was what was deposited. So there
Okay.
should be 2 after
Oh.
that. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I just don't want to close out a Zoom by accident.
Two-
So let's see.
All right, so 225 for Tim,
Tim, thank you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I just got to, somehow I was not
and then
hitting the right button again.
1,125 for Matt. I just wanted to make sure it's on the record and it's accurate.
Thank you for getting there faster than me.
I couldn't even get my email open, so good job.
So
All right.
yes, pay Tim the 225 and Matt the 1,125.
Sounds good.
And I
Alright.
think Colleen,
And
Let's see,
yeah, I'll
who's sec-
second that.
Colleen
Yep,
seconded.
Colleen seconds. All right, and Judy,
Yep, that's fine. I
Uh,
saw.
Colleen.
Yes.
All right, I'm a yes, and Kathy.
And I'm a yes.
All right, so the motion passes. And now I gotta find the agenda
I
again.
think it was food inspections. Where the heck did mine go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, food inspections.
Hold on, I'm gonna get back to the next thing is food inspections. And I owe you a calendar and I haven't put it together yet. Sorry. But my plan is just to take the list and basically start calling down the list and put together a calendar. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Words. And then recycle center, I guess we need to figure out what we're going to be doing because April is literally 2 meetings away. So I don't know if we want to operate on a volunteer basis or if we're just going to let it be. I mean, I know people look forward to it being open.
Is Ryan still around?
He's available by email. He's in Disney right now. And then we'll be in Oklahoma. So
Oh
the
my
new guy
gosh.
can help us advertise. So Ryan's in Oklahoma until I think.
Well, then we should use our new fella, and I've forgotten his name, I'm sorry.
David.
David, thank you. Why don't I write up a small advertisement and you guys can put in your 2 cents and then we'll have David approve getting it out there.
Okay.
I do think we need to hire someone. And that would be the best way to do it because I don't think any of us on the board have time to train. I know I don't this year.
Yeah.
So I think we need to hire someone and make them responsible for it.
That sounds
Right.
like yeah.
I mean, could we potentially have a contingency where if we don't have somebody hired in time for opening day, we can open on opening day on a volunteer basis and
Yeah.
collect materials and then just hold them?
Yeah, because that's what that was done before, right? It was usually held until the end of the season. I know there's oil, there's room in the oil storage, because we had that emptied. We have the shed. I would be okay volunteering to go down on Saturday, the Saturday morning. That's no problem.
I would too.
Yeah, it's typically 8 to 12.
Yeah, that's no big deal. So like I used to do it in Templeton. We had a bulky waste setup, so I'm kind of used to running the recycle stuff too. So if we can't find anyone, I'm more than happy to help.
I'd be happy to
Awesome.
pitch in and
Thank you,
we could
Mallory.
volunteer. Lisa, we have the opening days and
Correct.
until we get somebody in there.
Yep. And I'm available too. I don't know. I've never worked down there, but
Ooh, we could actually clean it up a little and organize things. It'd be great, ladies. I'd be so excited.
Shack.
just let me know.
The days I volunteered down there, I was like running around like organizing stuff. Like I took all the gardening stuff and put it in one spot where it was visible. See it.
My little brother used to love to work them with me because he'd always come home with like a car full of just junk.
Yeah,
People
that's
would
not.
throw away a drum
I
set.
show up with a car full of junk, but I'm not bringing anything back to my house.
Everything. We had one lady drop off her mother's jewelry box full of all of her jewelry still, and she's like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh yeah, he loved it.
All right.
Yeah,
So we have
we have a plan.
2 plans there.
Thank you for helping out, Mallory, and we'll get that ad out there and we'll move forward.
Perfect.
All right. And any unexpected subjects?
We did have one. The Board of Assessors has scheduled an in-person meeting for the board tomorrow night at 6:30. Their admin reached out to me and apologized. She didn't realize there was previous discussion about not having in-person meetings. So this meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. And their plan was to run it on Zoom. So just the 3 members of the board can meet and everyone else would attend via Zoom.
Well, that Zoom option for the public sounds like a good compromise
And I
on
did
their,
reach
on their
out.
part.
I did reach out to see if any of them had received vaccination, and I haven't heard back. So.
Judy, any comments?
Oh, I said what I said. It's prudent not to meet, although if they're not allowing public to come in, they have to come in by Zoom. I suppose, like Kathy said, that's a good compromise.
Okay. So I know at least there's 3 members of them. I don't know if
Plus
the clerk.
The clerk.
If I don't know if George is planning on attending or if he's going to attend via Zoom. He's pretty tech savvy. And he's our in-house for the assessing company we use.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
I know documents aren't getting signed. So there, there's a big backlog, and I'm sure you saw the email that Ryan sent out that the voicemail has been changed to reflect that things aren't moving forward. So I guess we have to compromise to get things moving.
So I think the compromise is fair. So
Yeah, and as long as they're not putting members of the public at risk, and then it is what it is.
Yep, as long as it's broadcasted and people can attend. And
so we'll just tell them it's already planned, and with this compromised position, we don't have any real overt concerns.
all right, I will go ahead and email her after the meeting.
Overt is a good word.
Thank you, Judy.
I'll save it for Scrabble.
Yeah. When you send the email, maybe say, something to the effect of, let me think for a second. While we still disagree in theory or in concept, we're willing to accept this compromise because it doesn't threaten the wider public.
Okay, I'll use that.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Can I hire you, Kate, to write my my biography down the road, of my life?
That I have the patience to be that political and not say what I actually think, but I'm trying real hard. Yeah.
Good job.
All right. Back to the agenda. Is that all the items? So we had one unexpected subject. Anything else? All right. Hearing no other subjects, I would take a motion to adjourn. If someone would make one.
I make a
Second that.
motion.
We got
I
a
make
second.
it. Someone seconded it before I made it, but there we go.
Kathy made a
We're on
motion.
top
and
of it.
seconded.
Doing
It was
well.
it was a Zoom lag. I heard it in order.
There you go.
All in favor? Aye, aye.
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 I
All right.